Hi everyone, welcome back to Secret Sudoku. Today we are going to be doing an extreme puzzle and I'm going to be showing you my game plan of how I like to do these harder puzzles. So let's get started. Okay, so obviously with a harder puzzle there's going to be less numbers. And what I like to do really no matter what type of puzzle I'm working on, easy all the way up to extreme, is I'm going to start with the number 1 and I'm going to go up the line and down the line. And when I'm doing this, I'm looking for one of two things. I'm looking for either the real number, like we get the real answer of the spot, or I'm going to mark with the pencil either ors. So if you look down here, we could see that the 1 is either here or here because it can't go up here and up here. So for each number, I'm going to take some time and go through and mark only if it's an either or. So if we look up at this square, we could see that the 1 can go here, here, or here. I'm not going to mark it just yet. I only want to mark when there's 2 spots, an either or. And you will see why I do this. I'm sure that I will get to show you why I have found this to be a really good starting point for doing these puzzles. So we're just working our way through. I'm kind of taking my eyes, quickly going up, up, across. Okay, we got 3, 3. 4. 5. Go here, here. Any others? 6. 7 can go down here. 8 here, here. And because we just got the 8s down here, we're going to take that all the way across. So now we know 8 can't go down here. 8's not going to go here. So we actually have another spot for an either or for 8. 9. We got a 9. At least we got 1. Okay. And now we're just going to go back down the line. So go back down 9. 9 here. And anytime I get a 9 like that, I am just going to see what that opens up. And we can see now 9's not going here. We know 9 is not going here. So 9 has to go there. And again, I only like to mark it at this stage if it's only 2 spots. You can do 3 spots, and honestly, I will. Oh, I'm going down. I might do 3 spots as we get a little bit further into this, but I like to start with just 2s. I find it just helps me stay organized, because I think as we go, it can get confusing with all the different numbers that you could, in theory, put in each spot. Okay, 5. So now we know also 5's gonna go here. Two, we know is gonna go here or here because 2 has to go here. So this entire row we can ignore, and the 2's here. Same thing, 1. 1's here, here, so can't use that column. Can't use that column. 1, 1. Okay. So now what I want to do is we are going to go back and start filling it out a little bit more. However, I want you to pay attention to these pairs. So anytime we have a pairing, 5, 9, 1, 6, make sure like that has to be the only two options for those squares. So for example, let's say in theory right now, you could say a 7 could go there. Like there's nothing stopping a 7 from going there. However, since we just figured out either or, we know that in this square, the 1 has to go here and the 1 has to go there. It's the only two options. Another way to think about it is for this column, since there's already a 1 and 6 here, if this column is gonna have a 1 and a 6, it's gonna have to go here or here. So we know for this square, the 7, in theory, can go anywhere but here. So keep that in mind as we start filling this out more and more. I'm actually gonna just start by filling these 3 squares out because we know for this column, we need 1 through 9. However, we know already that the 1 and 6 are going to be down here. So let's see what else. We need a 2. So we know the 2 has to go here or here because there's a 2 right there. We got the 3. We need a 4. Same thing. 4 has to go here or here. And since we now know 1 is here, here, 2, here, here. That's hard to say. Here or here. 3, 4, 5, 6 is going down here. 7 has to go there. And then we got our 8 and we got our 9. So this is where pairs are very helpful. And when we're filling out this square, again, we're going to say that these 2 squares we're going to hold for the 2 and the 4. So kind of like ignore those numbers. So we can fill out for 3. And we are going to fill out even if there's more than just 2 spots at this point. 5, 6, 7, 8 we got, and 9 here, here. Okay, great. 1 down, 1 square down. Which one do I want to do next? I'm going to finish this square up here because we're almost halfway there. So we got our 1s, we got our 2s, got our 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Great. Let's go fill out this square. 5, 9. Again, we're going to kind of ignore that or like don't add any more numbers to those 2 squares. We're going to keep it 5, 9. So 1, that can go there. 2, 3, 4. We got our 5, 6. Go here or here because it's not going to go up here. Oh, wait, sorry. I'm not listening to myself. It can't go there. So we know 6 is not here because that has to be 5 or 9. We know 6 is not here, so that is the 6. And before we move on, I'm just going to actually come over here and mark the 2 6s. And actually, we just got another 6 because if you look down here, 5, 9, so that's staying. 6 can't go here. 6 can't go here. That's the 6. And over here, that's the 6. I wonder if we got any more. We don't know it. Like, we don't know exactly where it's going, but I am going to mark the either or for the 6 down there. Okay. Oh, and we have this 6. Great. So really, for 6s, we just need this and this. Great. Coming back up here before I forget, we got 7. We need to mark 8. So 8 can go up here. And 9. We know where the 9's going. Coming over here with the 8, I'm going to start there actually. Because we know the 8 has to go up here for this row, and we know there's an 8 down here, for this square, 8 is only going to go here or here because we can't go in this column because of this 8. So this is where always kind of keep your eyes open for like what you're marking, because it's probably going to affect, it's going to help you narrow down where it's going to go. And that is kind of what we're trying to build. We're slowly building, we're slowly putting our options. Because if you do it all at once, I have found like it actually can become very confusing. All right, so let's finish this square. So I love when you have a 3 like this. Something that I have said before is after you do your first pass and you're looking for your either ors, the next thing that you want to look for is 3, 2, 1s. 3 is like this situation where these 3 numbers can only go in these 3 squares. 1, 4, and 8 have to go here, and we're going to be able to figure out what 3 numbers have to go here to fill out this row. Pairs, the 2, 5, 9, just like this. And then the 1, I also call it the one and only. That is sometimes harder to find, but that's where in a row or a column, you will see like there's only one place that a certain number can go. And if I see one of those, I will call it out to you. They sometimes take me a little bit longer to find. All right, so let's finish filling out this up here. So if we're going to go 1 to 9, we know 1's here, we know 2's here, 3's here, 4, 5, 6. The last number that we need is 7. So we know that the 7 is going to go there. And now we know when we're filling out the rest of this square down here, ignore 2, 3, 7. We know where 2, 3, 7 is going to go for this square. So let's finish filling this out. 1 can go anywhere. We got 2, we got 3, 4, 5, can't go there. We got 6, 7's up here, 8 we know we marked, and 9 is going to be able to go. Now, realistically, this is going to go down. This is a lot more numbers than I usually like to have, but sometimes it's just safest to mark all of them and then come back to it, and you can take more away. Okay, I'm going to finish this square because we have our 5 and 9, so let's just finish this one out. Oh, we got a 2. And there's a lot of different ways you could do this. You could go by number again, like I could just be looking at 1s, I could be looking at 2s, but sometimes I do like going by square or by just row or just column. It just helps to look at it a different way. Sometimes you see things that you're missing. All right, so now we got our 4 and our 2 figured out. Let's finish what these 3 are going to be, because we know 5, 9, so only 3 numbers are going to fit here. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We know the 5 is here. 6, 7, 8 has to go here, here. And now this is interesting, because since the 8 for this square has to go here, here, for this column, we know that this is not an 8 and that is not going to be an 8, because for this column it has to go here, here, because in this square that's the only 2 options. And so now, because we were doing either ors, we know that that's the 8 and that's the 6. And so this is why I really like doing it, like I said, slow and steady, because I think if you did all numbers at once, you might be missing these things. So I think it's better to keep it like more manageable. All right, so up here we now know those 3, so we can grab those really quick. And let's see if anything else opened up. Sometimes I like to just check. So I just got a 1, 4, 8 up here, and I'm just going to check to see 1, 4, 8 for the rest of the puzzle, because usually it opens up more options. We know that 4 can go here, here. We know that's the 2. What is the last number needed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Moving on. Let's finish up this square. 2. So actually, before I do the 2 here, I'm going to do the 2 here. Because if you look across and down, the 2 has to go here, which means for this square, the 2 is going to go up there. Three. You can always remove numbers, like as you start to see things in other squares. Seven can go everywhere. Okay, hopefully that changes. Now let's finish up this square. So we know 1. We got our 2. So nothing else goes there. We got the 2 figured out. 3. So that we know the 3 has to go here. Now, before I go much further, I'm gonna check to make sure there's no other 3, because we know it has to go here. So let's remove this 3. We know that's the 7. Okay. Let's see if 7 gave us anything. And it did, because this was 2, 8, 2, 8 down here. So we know this has to be the 8, this has to be the 2. And now we know that this is the 7, because that 7 blocked that. So really, we've gotten this whole square very quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And before I come up here, I'm just going to do a little bit of housekeeping in this square. So now that we have this pairing, 2, 7, 2, 7, you need to make sure that you don't have those numbers anywhere else. And by doing that, now we have another pairing, 4, 5, 4, 5. So we know that that's not a 4. That's the 3. So we can clean all of that up. All right. I'm sure that I have actually a lot more that I can fill out, but I just want to finish this square because sometimes I get a little ahead of myself and I don't want to mess anything up. So let's just finish filling this square out. I'm sure we are very close to solving this puzzle. Okay, we got the 4. Pencil, let's go 5, 6. Watch I say that and I'm going to mess something up or I'm going to get stuck. 7, 8. Actually, we got an 8 up here. If you just look up, up, over, over, that's the 8. And 9. Can go here or here. Now, real quick, I'm just going to triple check my work to make sure that this actually is the only place a 9 can go. And to do that, I'm just going to quickly count. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 9. Now, if I did this all correctly, all of these now should start going down to one number as we go through this. This is where marking is super helpful because it makes the final solve pretty fast. Okay, last 2. Awesome, there you go.